Stimulus checks would be sent out immediately if a few things happen. Well, that's what I'm going to discuss here in the video, as I get questions about stimulus and stimulus checks literally every single day. Now, first off, I have a really quick question for you. What do you think would be the perfect dollar amount in the form of a stimulus check right now for you and your personal situation? Now, obviously, everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but I'm just kind of curious. If you want to leave a comment down below, I'm really kind of curious where everybody's at right now. Would it be $500? Would that do the trick? $5,000, $2,000, $1,000, $2,500? I'm just kind of curious where everybody's at right now. Honestly, I'm not even sure what that dollar amount would be for me right now. It's not 500. It's not 1,000. It's probably a few $1,000s. If I'm being honest with you, it's probably a few $1,000s. Anyway, I would love to read your comments down below. I'm just kind of trying to get a grip on where everybody's at right now. Is it just a few $100s that we all need? Is it several $1,000s? Kind of where's everybody at? And again, the last several years, especially for low income and fixed income, have been really, really, really rough. Obviously, that's a very obvious statement right there, but I'm just saying, trying to play catch up here over the last several years is getting really, really tough. So I would imagine it's probably in the several $1,000s, but I don't want to influence your decision. I would really love to hear your comment, and I'm really curious to see what everybody says about that down below in the comment section. Again, if you want to leave a comment, I'd really appreciate it, and I look forward to reading those. Okay, so let's quickly talk about stimulus, okay? And again, I get these questions all the time, and that's totally okay, especially with the current situation that we're going through right now. I think a lot of people are really wondering, hey, there's massive uncertainty. A lot of major things are happening. We're seeing all these major changes coming out. Executive orders, like multiple a week, are being signed. We've seen this going on for months now. Yeah, a lot of things, okay? Anyway, we've also seen some major disruptions within the overall economy. Now, I don't want this to turn into some major economic lesson. I don't want this to be all about, well, it's, all about these economic data points. I don't want to turn it into that. But I do want to allude to that somewhat, because without that information, all of this is kind of useless, okay? Now, the reason that I say that, remember, and you've probably heard me say this a ton of times here over the last several years, which is, what predicates the distribution and the approval of stimulus? The economy. That's what it's all about every single time. And again, you know that if you've been watching the videos here for a while now, you know this. This is not some shock. It's not some surprising new, brand new information. Nope, this is old stuff. I mean, this is, very obvious. I've said it so many times. But here's the situation that we're in right now. Obviously, we've been here for a while, right? The implementation of the tariffs, the announcements of all this economic disruption that's going on so far. And again, we've still got a lot of 2025 to go, right? We've got many, many months to go. But with all of this economic disruption that we've been experiencing over the last several months here, all of this is coming and is really going to disrupt things in a major way. And remember this much. When it comes down to stimulus, they approve stimulus checks, stimulus packages, again, whatever you want to call it, major economic stimulus to revitalize the economy when we have economic disruption. Literally what we're seeing, right? And the thing, we see economic disruption in a variety of different ways. For example, let me just give a few different examples here that we all remember very vividly, I would imagine. And all of these have been very disruptive to the overall economy. Okay, we're dealing with that again. But let me just point this out really for you really, really quickly here. Okay, think back to the year 2000, 2001. What happened? We had major economic disruption because the internet was coming online, and we had all these businesses popping up all over the place, the dot-com bubble. Let's just say that much, right? Major disruption to the overall economy. Dot-com bubble inflated everything massively, and then the bubble popped and the thing just deflated instantly, right? That crashed us into a major recession. What happened? Stimulus, major stimulus at the time. Okay, that was obviously a long time ago, 2000, 2001. Now we think about 2008, 2009. What happened then? The subprime boom and bust, right? So like the real estate market was booming. Everybody was getting approved for a loan. They could have zero income. They're getting approved for these massive loans, right? And then all of a sudden, the housing market imploded. And what happened? Major disruption to the economy. Took it down, right? Now remember, 2020, 2021, what happened? We had the closures of everything, the shutdown, the lockdowns, whatever it happened to be, right? Major disruption to the economy. Plunged us into a recession. What happened? Major stimulus, again, provided, okay? Now here, all we have to do is look at the catalysts here. I've said this before. In fact, I was out in a video probably, 4 months ago, something to give or take a little bit, 4 months ago or so, and I was talking about, hey, this is the catalyst. Get ready, everybody. This is the new catalyst for the next major economic shift, the next major economic crash and burn. What is it? Tariffs. Tariffs, yes. Even, and again, I don't want to sit here and say that tariffs are good or bad. Tariffs are just tariffs. I mean, it's an import tax, right? It's a tax on money or on products that are being imported into the United States, right? So they're taxing all of that. And they call it a tariff. It's not, they don't call it a tax, they call it a tariff, but it's literally the same thing. It's taxation of imports, okay? Anyway, long story short here, if we look over the last, call it 25 years ago, dot-com bubble, right? Subprime boom and bust, right? Lockdowns, closures, all of these are major disruptions to the economy. These were the catalysts that pushed us into a major recession, a major economic contraction, and that is what gave birth to the distribution of major stimulus and accompanying stimulus checks, okay? We could probably look at this, okay? Again, I don't know what the future is going to hold here. I'm not sure what's going to go on the rest of the year. All I'm saying is that if we're looking at catalysts here, major economic disruptive catalysts, do you think the tariffs are going to be disruptive? Massively, right? We're already starting to see some of the effects of these massive tariffs here and what they're going to do to not only the United States economy, but the global economy as well, and trade for us and all the countries across the globe, mostly China, our third largest trading partner. In the globe, right? Canada's number 1, Mexico's number 2, and China is number 3. The third largest trading partner that we're really irritating in a pretty big way, right? So anyway, this is majorly disrupted for the overall economy. And, as I've been saying for a while, this is likely the catalyst that'll just push us over the edge. Now, here's the thing as well. I'm just going to say this. Do you think the economy was super strong over the last, 4 years or so? Depends on how you look at it. And again, I'm not turning this into some political video whatsoever. All I'm saying is that, was the economy really actually strong, or was it artificially propped up because they printed $6 trillion? That's what I'm saying. Was it actually strong in and of itself, or was it just kind of like this phantom bubble in the economy because they printed $6 trillion and they just pushed it out everywhere in every which way possible? So rather than seeing real economic growth and real GDP expansion, as in gross domestic product expansion and productivity expansion, we're just seeing just a ton of money chasing goods and services and just literally inflating the bubble, right? So again, it really depends on what we look at here, but depends on which side you look at. I mean, there's arguments for both sides. Some people say, oh, the economy has been so strong. And some people say, no, this has been a terrible economy. If you look at the internals of it, it's actually not that great. And again, I'm not here to take sides whatsoever, and it's certainly nothing political. All I'm saying is that, was the economy really on stable footing before we started to see the implementation of all these tariffs that were being implemented? And then all of a sudden, that just pushed it to where it was going to go anyway, right? Again, the catalyst, like I've been talking about. So anyway, this is kind of where we're at right now. So a few things that would need to happen. And again, this is probably not going to come as some big shock like, whoa, I can't believe you just said that. Here's what it comes down to. If you really want a stimulus, you got to wait for the economy to crash. Wait for a big old crash and burn in the economy. And that's honestly, I'm just going to say this. I'm not a doom and gloom person. That's not me. But I'm a realist. I'm very much a realist, okay? Anyway, when we look at the reality of what's happening here, in my opinion, I've been saying this for a while now, these tariffs are likely going to be the catalyst that pushes us over the edge. When we fall over the edge, economically speaking, right? When that whole thing happens, this is when lawmakers come in. Oh my, look, the economy is crashing and burning. What do we need to do? Provide it with stimulus. What is stimulus? Money. Money going out in a variety of different ways, right? This is typically when they pass these multiple trillions of dollars worth of stimulus and they push it out into the economy to inflate it again and to revitalize and to do all kinds of things. The Federal Reserve will come in and lower interest rates aggressively to spur spending and borrowing. That's why they do it, right? So I could sit here for probably 2 hours, 3 hours talking about all this stuff. It's nuts how all this stuff is highly, highly correlated. It's very, very interesting. But anyway, that's really what it comes down to. When the economy crashes and burns and we see a major slowdown, a major economic contraction, they might let the pain go for a little while, but they're not going to let it go for forever, right? The Fed will step in at that point. They will cut interest rates aggressively at that point, and then we'll typically see the accompanying a passage of stimulus by lawmakers. They do it every single time. Pretty much the passage of stimulus by lawmakers and the Federal Reserve pivoting and cutting interest rates aggressively typically come right around pretty much the exact same time, right? Very similar in timing. And then that is when we see, okay, here we go, we're off to the races again. And then we go into this multiple year expansion, like what we see every single time, because they get tons of money that's going into the economy. And then it just kind of expands, and we see all that going out there to build new business, to do all kinds of different things. And again, stimulate. That's what it's all about. Okay, so that's really what we need to see. Now, again, I've said this before in other videos, and I'm going to say this really quickly here, which is, there's been people out there saying, "Oh, this is painful. The economy. This is so much pain right now." I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not enough pain yet. Okay. I know that sounds super weird. I'm not trying to inflict pain on it. That's not me saying that about people individually. I'm saying economically speaking, as far as what we need to distribute stimulus, we're not seeing enough economic pain yet for them to actually come in and do it right now. Is that going to make sense, right? I know that sounds super weird, but that's the reality. Just watch. When we get to the pain point in the economy where it's like, oh, this is too much pain to bear anymore, we've got to do something. That is the timing. That is the timing when the Fed steps in, cuts interest rates, lawmakers come up with their multiple $1 trillion of stimulus packages, they get it all passed, and then that's the reversal in the overall economy, and that's when stimulus is provided, okay? I know, sounds super weird. If you want a little homework and a little history lesson, look it all up. Look up over the last 25 years, the last 3 major recessions, they all look pretty much the exact same. Same old pattern every single time. So anyway, super fascinating. All right, anyway, if you want a little more certainty right now, hey, if you're turning 65, if you're retiring, if you're moving across state lines or county lines, if you need any help with your Medicare, and again, Medicare supplements, initial enrollment into Medicare, Medigap plans, Medicare Part D, Medicare Advantage, whatever it happens to be, check this out right here. This phone number right here, that is by far your best resource as you transition into Medicare when you're turning 65, or if you're retiring, or you're moving across state lines or county lines, or if you need any help later in the year during annual enrollment, shopping and reviewing your plan to find a better plan with better coverages. This phone number right here is by far your best resource. Please write it down, take a picture, take a screenshot, save yourself a ton of time, a huge headache, a lot of frustration, and a lot of confusion, and let an expert, let the trusted advisors do that for you. They will do all the work on your behalf. They will find all the plans in your local area. They will isolate them all down, which, by the way, they have access to over 20,000 plans. And they will look through all those plans to find you the best plan at the best price with the best coverages for you and your personal needs, whatever it is that you need, as well as finding the doctors, the providers that you want to see, the networks you want to be within, the offices, the clinics you want to go to, the prescription needs if you have any at all. They will look through all of that and find you your best options. It's incredible. They're helping a ton of you here in this community. Thousands of you here in the community have reached out to them already. I've seen the numbers, I've seen the testimonials, I've seen the comments. It's incredible how much money those of you here in this community are saving from a simple 5, 10, 15, maybe 20-minute phone call. It's awesome. Anyway, by the way, the average savings is $1,100 from the seniors that they're working with. By the way, it's not guaranteed. Obviously, that's not guaranteed, but that is just the average savings. It's incredible. Anyway, write it down. Here you go. The phone number, write it down, take a picture, take a screenshot, whatever you got to do. Take advantage of that. And again, it's a totally free service to help you navigate Medicare. Otherwise, let me ask you a huge favor. Who do you know that's also in the position that needs this Medicare help? Please share that phone number with them. Friends, family members, neighbors, acquaintances, siblings, co-workers, parents, anybody in that position, please go ahead and share that number. You'll be the absolute hero. When they call and save a ton of money, you get all the credit. And that's a really cool thing to do, right? We all love getting credit for stuff, and you get the credit for it. So anyway, share that phone number. Otherwise, if you're new here, if you have not done so yet, please consider subscribing. Big subscribe button down below the video. Please feel free to share the video. Big share button down below as well. Otherwise, check out the well over 5,000 videos here on the channel in the video library. The popular videos I've hand selected for you down below in the description or popping up on your screen in just a second. You'll see some videos there. Thank you so much. Please have a nice day. Take care, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you again later in the next video. And I look forward to reading those comments down below as well.